way. The Pentagon's already predicted that 20 years ago. The Russians are predicting that a decade ago, their top academy. Russia has said they either deliver to all their satellites that are part of Russia still, or they will lose them. I mean, Russia understands that. I'm not, again, saying Russia's wonderful. Russia has a policy to try to enrich their population because they realize that's good policy for everybody to build a better civilization. Doesn't mean they're not corrupt and have problems. Russia's more like a boss hog corruption like we used to be, which is terrible but wonderful compared to eugenics, scientifically applied, anti-human, exterminist, UN, world government, technocracy garbage. And the big tool of the technocracy is to get reality in such shambles that people just turn away and say, I give up. That's why Obama comes out and says, I never said you could keep your doctor. I never said it would cut your medical bill. I never said I wouldn't come after your guns. You have a business, you didn't build that. If you raise the debt, it doesn't raise the debt. It's meant to condition you to accept any level of lying because in the information age, they can't hide stuff anymore, even short term. So instead, they just want to overwhelm everybody where we just short circuit like Robbie the robot with too much information, cannot compute, and smoke comes out our ears. That's what's going on here. And I have some clips here that illustrate this. Obama came out and said, ISIS, but to confuse people, it's been ISIS, IS, ISIL. It's really Al-Qaeda. It's been Al-Qaeda the whole time. But to confuse it, because it's so embarrassing that our government got caught by the military and everybody, it was the military mainly, last year, openly running Al-Qaeda. The military freaked out, decompartmentalized. There was almost a total mutiny. The Secretary of Defense got all freaked out when the chairman of the Joint Chiefs went to him and said, this is not going to fly. And so they figured out a new strategy. Change the name, have them invade Iraq, and then say we've got to fund the main Syrian rebels that are Al-Qaeda, by the way. They just keep calling the moderate group the main group, who admits all over the news they work with IS, Al-Qaeda, whatever you want to call it, to then attack Syria. You have to understand, the rebels aren't turning to beat Al-Qaeda. They're going to be armed and given air support to go and overthrow Assad. Watch. Within a month to 2 months, they'll be bombing in Damascus and saying, well, to be able to take out Al-Qaeda, we've got to take control of the whole government to clean the country out. And then they're going to kill every Christian in the country, just like Libya, just like I told you they'd do 3 years ago. It's now a failed state with over 50,000 people confirmed dead. And if you're black, you're dead. If you're Christian, you're dead. They were all living there freely. The super racist Wahhabist Arabs are basically like hillbilly brown Klan people or something. I'm telling you, folks, they act just the same. They find black people, dead. They find Christians, dead. They find Jews, dead. You can pull up the New York Times admitting jihadis war on black Libyans. I mean, they just find whole warehouses full of them dead and burned or dead out in the desert where they just take men, women, and shows videos of them. The bullets are too expensive to use. They use machetes and just hacking up black women and children. You're not going to hear jack squat out of just the Reverend Jackson and Al Sharpton and all these other idiots. And you're going to see that. That's what this is. And then Obama, we'll play the clip when we come back. He said in the speech, we're going to play a bunch of these clips, they're not Islamic. Well, they are funded by Saudi Arabia, the dominant Islamic state. 80% are Sunni. This is the group radicalizing the Sunnis. This is 10% of the 80%. Do the math. This is the driving sector of Islam right now. To say it's not Islamic, I know Obama's an Islamic scholar and did go to Islamic schools, and when the Arabs heard him speak in Cairo, they fell down and cried, saying his Arabic is more perfect than an imam. Because, I mean, he was raised a Muslim. It is true. I'm not Islamophobic. I'm not starting a war with anybody. I wondered why they would say on the news, Obama truth squads will arrest anyone in Missouri that says he's a Muslim. Remember that when he was running in 2008? We played the clips. I was like, why are they saying that? Because he's whatever he is, he was raised a Muslim. And so he's up there as the grand imam, the Mahdi, saying you know, this isn't Islamic. And in a way, he is the Grand Mahdi. He is turning radicalism loose to take over the world while claiming he's fighting it and fooling everyone.
Recent events have shown just how vulnerable we are to deadly viruses, bacteria, and fungus. These diseases are all caused by infectious pathogens that often get the upper hand on conventional medical treatments. Now more than ever, there's a great need for a product that will help protect us. Look no further. Supernatural Silver can provide immune system support to help fight off these deadly pathogens. Supernatural Silver is a new and vastly improved type of silver solution that's safe and extremely effective against 143 types of bacteria, both forms of viruses, mold, and yeast. Supernatural Silver can be taken orally or used topically and can be used in a nebulizer or vaporizer for inhalation. With over 180 scientific studies by independent universities, hospitals, and research institutions, Supernatural Silver is a powerful weapon against disease. Go to supernaturalsilver.com and use the promo code SILVER2014 for 20% off your entire order. Give you and your loved ones a fighting chance with Supernatural Silver.
In the U.S., 1 in every 50 homes will have a break-in this year. Burglars call it smash and grab. Police call it robbery. We call it avoidable. We are Fake TV, a simple electronic device that can fool even professional burglars. Fake TV easily plugs into any outlet and simulates the changing colors of a television. To a burglar, it looks like someone must be home watching TV, so they'll likely move on to an easier target. At only $29.95, Fake TV costs less than a month of most alarm monitoring plans and comes with free shipping. Order your Fake TV by calling 877-5-FAKE-TV or go to faketv.com. That's 877-532-5388 or faketv.com. Fake TV, the burglar deterrent.
Our big story. Gun owners react as politicians continue to ban high-capacity magazines state by state.
I think that these weapons ought to be stopped.
Magazine restrictions have already happened in 9 states. Staffed with formal special operations personnel, GunMagWarehouse.com is the only company that specializes in gun magazines. GunMagWarehouse.com has the largest selection of the magazines you should stock up on. Go now to GunMagWarehouse.com before it happens in your state. Get it before you regret it.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237.
We all have our own idea about what being safe and secure means. The door's locked, bills are paid, you've got a job that keeps the lights on, and a home to call your own. But what happens when Mother Nature throws a curveball?
I'm telling you, take cover.
Are you prepared to live without electricity or passable roads for weeks at a time? Do you even have a plan B? If you do, are you willing to bet your life on it?
Children left with no homes.
And no one's coming to help them.
The first step towards self-reliance in the face of disaster is a visit to MyPatriotSupply.com. There you'll find the absolute best prices on storable foods, non-GMO seeds, emergency water filtration devices, and so much more. All orders over $49 qualify for free shipping in the lower 48 states. Call 866-229-0927. That's 866-229-0927 and speak to one of our preparedness advisors today, or visit us at MyPatriotSupply.com. Remember, before it's time to survive, it's time to prepare.
I'm gonna chase the sky forever.
Well, the Speaker of the House, Boehner, is giving a press conference right now, and he's endorsed Obama's request to not give $500 million. No, not to give $500 million to the Syrian rebels, to give basically unlimited amounts of money, speaking now at 12:24 Eastern Time. That's enough. Just get him off the screen. Again, if you're a radio listener, we're simulcasting on television as well, and we track and chronicle what the mainstream media and the politicians are up to. Boehner is the guy that supports Obamacare. Boehner is the guy that helps work with the Democrats to try to stop the Tea Party and the Libertarians taking over the party. Boehner's the guy that keeps protecting Obama on Fast and Furious and everything else. And I supported Senator Paul saying we should bomb ISIS, but we started arming them to begin with as the rebels. So we've got to figure that out first, how they don't get weapons and how we then don't give them a new foothold in the Middle East. Instead, it's just, I'm going to give weapons to the rebels and there'll be no boots on the ground, even though he just sent an additional 475 U.S. troops. That's Associated Press. Everything he says is a lie. Everything he says ends up being a fraud. And I know politicians do this, and we just get to the point we accept it. That's them, again, breaking our will. That's what the TSA is all about, checking your baby's diaper, but the border's wide open and illegals can fly without an ID. It's about things being upside down. Let's go ahead and go to this first clip. Obama says ISIL, to confuse you more, is not Islamic. Well, it is Islamic. It does come out of that. Talk about political correctness, though. It is not Islamic. And then he goes on to call it by another name to confuse people. Let's go ahead and play that clip.
At this moment, the greatest threats come from the Middle East and North Africa, where radical groups exploit grievances for their own gain. And one of those groups is ISIL, which calls itself the Islamic State. Now let's make two things clear. ISIL is not Islamic. No religion condones the killing of innocents.
Oh my goodness.
And the vast majority of ISIL's victims have been Muslim. And ISIL is certainly not a state. It was formerly al-Qaeda's affiliate in Iraq and has taken advantage of sectarian strife and Syria's civil war to gain territory on both sides of the Iraq-Syrian border.
We told you 4 years ago the plan, a year ago, 6 months ago. It's all on record at Infowars.com. Not because we're rocket scientists. It's a public plan. Wesley Clark talked about it. We can play those clips again if you'd like us to. To use radical Islamists to destabilize the whole Middle East. It is our government and NATO that put these people calling themselves Islamic State, calling themselves the Caliphate, Al-Qaeda. It's all just names of the same thing. The stupid black flag is the Al-Qaeda flag. The same one bin Laden gave speeches in front of, okay? That's how dumb they think you are. And that's how dumb they think I am. And now they admit Libya is a failed state and we've got to invade there because the very group they put in charge is blowing up the airfields and murdering the Christians and the non-radical Muslims. The only thing Obama said that was true in that statement is that the main victims are Muslims. In Libya and in Iraq, not in Syria. They've gone into mainly Christian areas and killed everybody. 300,000+ dead in Syria. You can look that number up. Most of them Christians. So I don't even know if he's telling the truth there. But it is true that if you're not a radical Muslim and you just want prosperity and take care of your family and you don't want to eat hearts on television or blow up everything or blow up the shrine of Jonah, I mean, they're running around blowing up churches and Shiite mosque. The Shiites don't do that to the Sunnis, folks. And I'm not picking sides here either. I just study it. These Wahhabists are nuts. You just look at them, crazy-eyed. They rape and kill everybody. They like sodomize men they grab. They're a bunch of perverts. They are just a bunch of lunatics. And so it's easy to hate them. I've got ISIS threatening us on Facebook and Twitter, real groups. I'm not scared of you scum. I got the Second Amendment. But I feel sorry for people that don't. And if our government has our way and gets our guns, they're blowing up old stuff from the Babylonian Empire and architecture. They are a bunch of demons. So when we come back, I'm going to play the next big lie. He avows no U.S. ground troops. There's U.S. ground troops in Syria and Iraq. That's been in the news for 2 years, overtly helping the, quote, non-radical rebels who are ISIS.
We're on the march.